Again, if you're visiting with us tonight, we appreciate your presence at our meeting. And if you will, council, let's move to item number 3, which is approval of the minutes. And if possible, I'd like to approve 3 sets of minutes together unless we have some corrections or additions.
Mr. Mayor, I've had an opportunity to read all 3 minutes, and I believe they're approved. I move that we approve them as written in whole.
Second.
Motion made and second that we approve the minutes from the regular meeting November 5th, special meeting November 9th, and regular meeting December 17th. All in favor signify by using your voting sign. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, council. Move on to reports. City Administrator Ron Duncan. Ron?
Mr. Mayor, council, guests, council, there's a couple of sheets of paper in your packet. The first one looks like this. It's a one-pager. Basically, it's just based upon the end of December, the first quarter projections. So far, so good. We're very early in the year, obviously, and I've used conservative numbers for water and sewer since we really don't have a good picture on water and sewer sales until the April-May time frame. But even with conservative numbers with water and sewer, everything seems to be holding together in accordance with the budget. Item 2, Charlene Hoffmaster, as everyone knows or should know, passed away, and she was an outstanding lady, a great employee, and absolutely superb librarian. And she'll be greatly missed. James Sutton, who has been employed with the Crockett Public Library for almost 11 years now, James, and has been full-time for almost 7 years. It has stepped up to be the library director. I think James is going to do a great job for us. He has the full faith of the library board that recommended that he be selected to fill in Charlene's shoes. And what we're looking at now is one other employee, Leslie Johnson, moving up to fill in the other full-time position, and she will continue as the children's librarian and assist in the other administrative duties in the library. She'll take over cataloging, and James will, between James and Leslie, we will continue to push for the library grants and all the other things to make the Crockett Library what it is today. And as I said, Charlene will be sorely missed, but I think the library is in good hands. The Boys and Girls Club, I just want to make the council aware of, and I sent the mayor the note that reaching back into the history banks and finding the deed for Crockett Boys and Girls Club, we noticed an item in there under reservations from and exceptions to conveyance and warranty on page 2 of the deed, which and I'll read the second paragraph. Should the Boys and Girls Club of Deep East Texas ever cease to operate a Boys and Girls Club in the city of Crockett, Texas, for the benefit of the children of the city of Crockett, the grantor, the city of Crockett, its successors and assigns shall have the right to re-enter the property and the power to terminate all right, title, and interest in the property granted by this deed to the Boys and Girls Club of Deep East Texas, its successors and assigns. On the occurrence of this condition subsequent, and on the exercise of the right of re-entry and power of termination, the property and all interest therein shall revert to the city of Crockett, Texas, its successors and assigned, and as shall have and enjoy the property forever, as if this deed had never been executed. I discussed the matter extensively with Jeff Woods, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Boys and Girls Club of DC, Texas. Initially, there was some doubts expressed that the building was part of that property, and I verified that with the gentleman who did the survey on that particular property years ago, and after we confirmed that, again, I contacted Mr. Woods and the city attorney, and Mr. Woods fully agrees. And so Bill Pemberton has the paperwork, and we're gonna proceed forward with that to convert that to a public use.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm just excited about it. Thank you.
We will convert it to a public use. On the audit, it remarkably quick for, as audits go. Ashley and Rhodey finished their office preparations last week. We should see the draft of the audit later this month, and it should be in front of council at the next, or at the beginning of March meeting, which will be early as city audits have gone in the past. Questions on my reports?
Any questions for Mr. Duncan? Council?
Thank you, council.
Thank you. Council, we're going to move on to item number 5, which is Police Department Manpower and Criminal Incident Report for December 2012 and January 2013. Chief Cross, welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, city council members, city administrator.
Chief.
This is the first report from December of 2012. I'll present before you. Had a total manpower of 15 officers, had 2 part-time officers. Officers worked a total manpower hours of 2,472. They answered 532 calls. They made 30 arrests during this period, had a total of 79 traffic citations. They generated 90 offense reports, worked 16 total traffic accidents, and answered 25 alarms. There's a breakdown of the criminal reports below that for the month of December. If there's not any questions on that, I'll move on to the January 2013 report. Had the same manpower of 15 at the department, 2 part-time. Our total manpower hours were 2,403. Our officers had a total calls of 547. They made 34 arrests, issued 187 traffic citations. They had a total reports of 153, worked 11 accidents, and 23 alarm calls for that period. And there's also a breakdown of those criminal reports below that.
Any questions for Chief Cross on the criminal incident report for December and January? Council?
Steve,
Yes.
I see there's been from December to January as far as the total traffic, kind of large increases, isn't it?
There is. When I came in, we asked our officers to be proactive. If they weren't actually working or answering calls, we asked them to go out and be proactive and work and try to work traffic in some hot areas where we've gotten a lot of complaints. A lot of those are also warnings that are included in that. That's just not the total number of citations that were issued. That's why you see that increase.
Anything else, council? Chief, thank you. Let's move on, if you will, to your next item. Consider and approve adding 1 full-time police officer while eliminating 2 part-time police officer positions.
One of the goals coming into this position and meeting with some of y'all was to have a stronger criminal investigation division. We currently have 1 full-time detective Vickers on staff, and when I sat down and met with the district attorney and the county attorney, there were some, I wouldn't say complaints, but some advice given to us that we need to make our cases stronger. We need to spend more time working on these cases. That way, when we do go to court, that there were strong cases and the prosecutors have enough information to prosecute those cases successfully. And one way for us to do that is to add another detective. Another detective full-time would be able to rotate call with Detective Vickers, would also be able to go in and have the capabilities to work these cases a little bit longer than we have such a volume that we can only spend a short amount of time on those. With 2 cases, we can work them longer and get them to a point where we're more successful in prosecution. Therefore, I'm asking that we remove the 2 part-time officers and make a full-time position out of those 2 part-time positions.